NBA brought him to the Bay. While his co-host was born and raised here.
Adam, that is great co-host work right there. That is amazing. You're lucky to have Adam, Tommy.
Oh, absolutely.
It's time for Tolbert and Copes. Let's get it on! Tom Tolbert.
Yeah, thank you. Now if I could ever get some beer.
And Adam Copeland.
Adam Copeland has arrived!
On KNBR 104.5 and 680 Sports Leader.
Now the pitch. Swinging. There's a smash. Gap left center. Heading to the wall. One hop right at the base of the wall. Coming to third. Chapman being waved home by Matt Williams. The throw home. The slide. Swing! He scores! And the Giants have won it again on opening day on a walk-off.
Get into the gap. Is anybody there? No. Here it comes. And the throw. Not in time. And this one is over. It's exactly what 40,000 plus wanted to see.
What is shaking? Adam Copeland, Tom Tolbert with you for a short show. And for the Giants' home opening win, I salute you. Well done.
Nice.
I'm so glad they won that so I didn't have to talk about why pitchers can't throw it to second when they can throw it to home and bad base running. It's nice to be able to say, Estrada, big hit. He was scuffling. Jordan Hicks was fantastic. Camilo Duvall made it interesting but got the job done. And the game-winning run scores because of a hit by pitch. Well, Estrada doubled him in, but got on base, hit by pitch. But they needed that one. That one felt like it was very, very close to another we were right there, loss, which you don't want to start getting into that habit. And they pull one out, get the win, 3-2, bottom of the ninth, walk-off job. So that was a well-pitched game, good win. Send everybody home happy.
Again, man, it's like second start in a row, but also after that final tune-up in the Bay Bridge series against the A's. Jordan Hicks, man, the guy's got stuff. The guy's solid, man. He dealt again.
Yeah, I keep saying, and I don't know why I keep saying this, because look, things change, we know this, but I keep saying, man, wait, when Ray gets back, Snell, Ray, Webb, Harrison, Cobb, I keep forgetting, like, Hicks could be, who knows what they're going to do if all six guys are healthy. Now, who knows if that'll happen? That's way, way, way down the line.
I assume it will, Tom. That's usually how it plays out. Everybody gets healthy, and then you got a problem.
Healthy, you're good to go.
You have to send somebody down and trade him, because you don't have too many.
Oh, yeah. We should start thinking about that now, who they could get for him at the
They have too many pitchers, Tom. They got to get rid of some.
The break. So, no, that was a heck of a start. Really was. And that's, as you said, I didn't get a chance to see any of the Bay Bridge series, but the two games I've seen, he's looked really good, really comfortable. And what I like about him, too, is he can cruise at like 93, 95, and then when he really needs to, late in the game, you saw him pump it up there 98 miles an hour, and it wasn't even that hard. Like, he has a lot in reserve, so when he has stressful innings and he needs to make a pitch or get an out, he has that extra gear, because we've seen him throw it well over 100 miles an hour when he was coming out of the pen. So, yeah, it was because we wondered. That was the one guy, because we didn't know how he was going to react to starting, because he hadn't been a starter before, except for a few starts here and there. But he's looked really, really good. And what was it, 7 innings today?
Seven innings, 91 pitches.
Huge.
7 innings, 91 pitches, 5 hits, 2 runs, only 1 was earned, and the 5 strikeouts. It's the no walks for me, because that's the thing that I was concerned about is over the course of his career, he's been a guy who has fallen behind hitters, and when you throw really hard, sometimes you think maybe a guy's overthrowing, and you give up a lot of home runs when you throw that hard and throw a fastball that misses up in the zone, but he's got that split, the dives, he's got the fastball that can ride up and in on right-handed hitters, and he's throwing first pitch strikes. His ERA for the season down to .75, just 2 starts, but 7 innings on 91 pitches. Jordan Hicks, to me, is sort of like Conforto of the pitching staff, right? Like we talked about Jorge Soler's a guy who they added, who they anticipate is going to be a big power hitter. You bring in Matt Chapman, we know what he can do. But a guy like Jordan Hicks, in the same offseason that you add somebody like Blake Snell, doesn't appear, or like Robbie Ray, doesn't seem to be a frontline guy. If he's going to give you the equivalent of like what Conforto's giving you offensively right now, it's fantastic, man. I mean, this is found money as far as I'm concerned.
No, absolutely. And Conforto is just scalding. I mean, that guy is red hot. Any mistake you make, up or down, I mean, he's putting a charge into the ball. And that one double, I actually thought it was gone off the crack of the bat. I mean, he crushed that one to center. It didn't get there, but he's hitting balls hard. The one to right field was high up off the top of the wall, and that's a home run most parks, and a double at least. Could have had 3 doubles, and he ended up getting a single out of that because Tatis played it really well off the wall. But, man, he is just hammering balls right now. I mean, he is – I don't want to say he's the offense. Today he basically was.
Had 5 hits. He had 3 of them.
Yeah, the offense. Yeah. So he's been fantastic. But, Rogers comes in and gets it done. And then, like I said, Duvall makes it interesting, which he does quite a bit. But he has that strikeout stuff. So even when guys are on base, you feel like he can get out of the jam. And he did today, first and second with 1 out, and then strikeout, inning over. So well done by him, too.
What do you think of Dylan Cease's outing? 6 innings, 4 hits, there's 2 earned runs. Giants, again, they're not putting together tons of hits. They did have him throw 102 pitches. Does it feel? Well, let me pull back from asking you what you thought of Cease. What do you think of the way starting pitching has looked across baseball in the first week and a half here, or 2 weeks? Because Logan went through 98 pitches on opening day, went deep into the game. Hicks goes 7 today. Cease went 6 today. Today felt like a baseball game from like 2009.
They did. I haven't seen a ton of games, but the games I've seen and like the stats that I've looked at, it seems like guys are going deeper into games earlier in the season.
Agreed.
The kid for the Astros pitched a no-hitter. You very rarely see that. I asked Coach yesterday, I go, boy, that's got to be a record for earliest no-hitter of the season. He goes, yeah, except for Burley on opening day. I go, yeah, that's going to be hard to beat. Yeah, unless it was like earlier in the day, I guess. That's the only way you could beat
if they do it like in the Seoul
Series. If you pitched earlier in the day.
They do it in Korea, dude. Yeah, right. Like a week,
exactly.
Week before everybody else gets to play.
That'd be the only way you could beat something like that. But, yeah, it used to be, right, 75 pitches, 80 pitches, 5 innings.
Right.
You just – and I don't know if they're stretching them out a little bit more during spring training or what they're doing. But, I love it. I love the fact they're letting guys go deeper into games now. 7 innings for Hicks, who was a guy who really not really a starter, and he was very economical with his pitch. I think 19 pitches in the third, I think I remember is what it was the most pitches he threw in an inning. So, yeah, he deserved to go 7 innings, but still, early in the season, too many times I thought you saw where it's early in the season, want to be careful with them, and it just seems like across baseball that more teams are letting guys go a little bit deeper early in the season, and I think that portends really well for baseball because I think, they're probably not completely stretched out. Yeah. When they do get stretched out, you might see guys going 110 pitches now, 112 pitches, 115 maybe. Maybe they can get to 8 innings if they're pitching well. Maybe that magic 100 pitch mark can go away. I wish it would. I don't know why 100 pitches is like all. It's like, oh God, triple digits. We got to start getting the bullpen up. But no, I love what I've seen.
Yeah, to me, it's never about the 100 pitches. It's about what pitch it. Like, you can be a strikeout pitcher, right? Like, you can be a guy who racks up big numbers in strikeouts. But if you do that, you have to often be getting guys early in at bats, right? You got to be throwing 4 or 5 pitches to a guy to get a strikeout in order to keep your pitch count down to rack up the number of strikeouts that hit a high number and that keep you in a ball game long enough, right? Like Jordan Hicks appears to me to be a strikeout guy, and I think he always has been because of the velocity and the swing and miss stuff that he has. Like every strikeout he gets is somebody swinging over the top of a splitter like that. It's like Lincecum was, or Kevin Gausman, or Jason Schmidt even had a big changeup that would dive kind of like that. And when people swing over the top like that, you can rack up the numbers, but you have to get ahead of guys in the count. So I always look at the 100 pitches and say, how did he get to 100? Is it about they're taking him deep into counts? Is it that he's walking guys and guys are on base? Because, as you know, there's a difference in 100 pitches through 5 innings because you were high stress, where there's bases are loaded every inning, or you got guys on first and second, and there's Tim Lincecum who's throwing 120 because he struck out 15.
Yeah, and look, you caught, so you understand like what a guy looks like. Is he missing high? Does his breaking ball lose its snap? Is he losing his command a little bit? Does it look like he's laboring a little bit? Like all those things seemingly stop mattering for a period of time. It was just third time. A lot of it was third time through the order, and then a lot of it was, well, he's getting close to 100 pitches, so we got to get him out of there. Instead of actually, and I remember listening to Tom Glavine years and years ago. I think actually him and Smoltz were doing an interview together, and they were just talking about when they were pitching in the minors, their minor league pitching coaches or managers would let them go until they looked like they needed to come out. It wasn't so much about what the score was, how many innings, how many pitches. It's like pitch until you look like you need to come out. And I understand nowadays with the money they're paying for these guys in the minor leagues, they want to make sure they're getting their money's worth at the big league level. But I mean, I've always felt like you condition an arm in the minor leagues to get to the big leagues, and that's what the arm is ready for. Instead of trying to get him to go from 5 to 8, it's like, well, let's get him to go 5 to 6, and then 6 is good enough because we're paying the bullpen so much money. So let's make sure we get them involved. So no, I really like the way it's going. And look, Jordan Hicks has pitched 12 innings, 11 strikeouts, which is good. It's not fantastic. It's not going to blow you away, but maybe being that he's a starter now and he's not going to come in throwing 102, 103, trying to strike guys out. And a lot of times when you're brought in as a reliever, you're brought in situations that call for a strikeout. When you realize, hey, I'm going to go 5, 6, 7 like he did today, you can be try to be a little more economical with your pitches. You're not trying to strike everybody out. You're trying to get the ball on the ground. And so, yeah, I mean, so far, I was going to say so far so good. It's been great the first couple of starts. I mean, you couldn't have hoped for any more from Jordan Hicks. And if he's like that guy, or even if he's not quite that guy, but close to that guy that he's been the first 2 starts, my goodness, that's good stuff.
Yeah, Jordan Hicks again as the Giants win in a walk-off today. Walk-off double by Thairo Estrada beat the Padres 3-2 in their home opener. Jordan Hicks, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs allowed, but just one of them was earned. He didn't walk anybody, struck out 5 on just 91 pitches, an efficient 7 innings of work. And then Tyler Rogers and Camilo Doval close it down for the Giants before. Actually, Doval gets the win. Thairo Estrada doubles in Matt Chapman with the winning run after he gets hit by a pitch. So Chapman, by the way, his average up to 419. You got some high averages in the Giants lineup as well. Pat Bailey hitting 368 right now. And Conforto, as I mentioned, I said Chapman, sorry. Conforto up to 419 after 2 more doubles today and 3 total hits. He had 3 of the 5 Giants hits. 415-808-KNBR, 415-808-5627 is the number to call and to text if you want to get involved in the conversation today. I'm here still live at Oracle Park from the KNBR bunker, and we are going to get into some basketball stuff here momentarily because should give you an update here, by the way, Tom.
Yep.
Luka out tonight.
Luka out.
So Rockets lose last night to the Warriors. Nice win for the Dubs, and now no Luka for the Rockets. I told you I'd take all 3. I don't mind them.
You take all 3? Yeah, all 3 would be good, huh?
I enjoy that, yeah.
All 3 would work, absolutely. So, yeah, I mean, that's obviously huge that Luka's not, I mean, he's the hub of everything they do offensively. So I wanted to mention this, too, because you mentioned no walks today. He only had 1 walk against the Padres the first time. So that's 11 innings. 11 innings, 1 walk. And you went back to the Bay Bridge, the Oakland game. He had 1 walk in 5 innings. So if you want to go with that, I mean, 17 innings, 2 walks. But for the back of his baseball card so far, it's 11 innings and 1 walk.
I think he's at 12. He threw 5 innings in his game against the Padres.
12. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. Absolutely.
That's rough math.
I shorted him an inning. That's rough math.
That's very much.
I only missed by an inning.
Dude, what'd you think of the Warriors win last night, man?
I mean, just really good. Again, defensively, I thought they were really good. I mean, Clay was just out of his head in the first half. He got going, and they just couldn't stop him. They lost him a couple times when they shouldn't have, and then once he gets going, he starts taking shots that look really, really tough, and makes them. And I don't mind those shots when he's going. It's those shots when he tries to get himself going. And I'm like, well, you're like 1 for 7. You maybe a little bit better than that, but I mean, that's Clay. So, but he was fantastic last night. Trace Jackson Davis again. Like he doesn't do anything spectacular offensively. He's just in the right spot, and he can finish because he has lift. Once he gets to the rim, he can lift up. He doesn't have to worry too much about getting his shot blocked. He can dunk it. He can finish on little flip shots, but he's above the rim, so it's hard for other teams to get to it. And he gives them an option that they haven't had. Like you notice when Looney rolls, and he can finish sometimes too, but he always finishes below the rim. Like he's got to run into guys a little bit, back them off, and create some space for himself, and then usually banks it in. But Trace Jackson Davis can go up above guys and flush it. So I thought he was really good last night, but really it's been about the defense for me. The defense has been solid. It's keeping guys out of the lane. It's keeping them off the free throw line. And they were excellent offensively in the first half because they had to be. I mean, they were throwing the ball all over the yard last night. I mean, it was almost embarrassing. I think they had 15 turnovers in the first half. I mean, they were just chucking
that
them
many
everywhere.
in the first half?
I think it was. I think it was like 14. I mean, it was insane how many turnovers they had in the first half. And then, but they shoot 62%. At one point, I think they were 8 for 12 from 3 and shot close to 60% from 3, if not 60% from 3 in the first half. So, I mean, their offense kind of kept them at arm's length, and then they were able to hold on to the ball and continue shooting the ball well in the second half, and that allowed them to extend out to like a 15, 16, 18, I think, maybe even 20 at one point lead. So, yeah, I mean, they're playing good. And we all know the road ahead. We'll worry about that when we get to it. But just keep playing good ball, keep playing good defense. And I think they probably, I mean, I haven't looked at all the stats at all the teams, but I can't imagine a team has benefited more from the new rules that allow you to play defense a little more vigorously. Because you look at the free throw attempts, the opponent free throw attempts before the All-Star break, after the All-Star break, and they're pretty dramatic. Like I told Steve, I go, well done. You've been letting them hack for a couple years now, anticipating this was going to happen. I go, that's really four-dimensional chess. You're like looking 2 years down the line, waiting for them to pull this thing back in line with what it should be, and you were ready for it. And he said, oh, of course. Yeah, of course I was.
Yeah, it was all part of the plan.
Not really. But they've really benefited from that. And so the defense is really, really good. And Steve mentioned, Trace and Draymond together are really good because Trace can defend the rim and Draymond can roam a little bit. We always talk about how good Draymond is defensively, and he is. He may be the best help defender that I've ever seen. Like, he is so good helping because he knows what you're trying to do. He diagnoses it, and he almost beats you to your spot where you're trying to get. So that allows him that freedom because he knows Trace Jackson Davis is behind him, and he can defend the rim better than Looney can in terms of blocking shots and affecting shots, stuff like that. Looney can still diagnose things more than Trace Jackson Davis. He's probably going to be in the right spot a little bit more because Trace hasn't seen everything yet. But he's just so athletic and so good for them. So for me, it's about the defense. Even if they're not shooting the ball well, and if they don't turn it over crazy, like if they weren't shooting the ball well last night in the first half, they'd have been down 10-15. But as long as they hold on to the ball and the defense holds, they're going to have a shot. I mean, I'm not going to say to win a championship, but they're going to have a shot to beat some people in the playoffs. I mean, they're I don't know anybody who's playing any better ball than them right now.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the thing about the rule changes on defense because I think Steve mentioned that also. Somebody asked, maybe it was you, maybe it was with us earlier this week, and somebody asked Steve about what had changed. He's like, well, they did change the rules. Yeah, which I thought was sort of funny. What's been the most drastic change and what's benefited the Warriors in that time?
Well, just the fact they're letting you play a little bit now, like all the touch fouls and all the reaching, because the Warriors reached, and they probably still do a little bit, but they reached a lot, and they got called for all those fouls, and now the refs are letting you play through it a little bit. I just think it's a much better, I've said this a few times, much better brand of basketball. Like, you actually have to earn a bucket now. Before, it was like really super high-level summer league where you could score 130 and lose by double digits. Now you get to 130, you're probably going to win by double digits. Like, there are very few games I've seen since the rule change that are 140 to 135, stuff like that. There's been a couple of them. I think the Lakers beat the Pacers like 150.
Scoring's been much lower across the league.
Yeah. Like, I watched a game about 10 days ago, I guess it was, when the Pacers played at the Lakers. It was 150 to 145.
Oh,
that was insane. Yeah, that was insane. That was like no one could miss. Defense wasn't great, and the offense was everybody was just out of their
Don
heads.
Nelson's favorite game of the year.
And, oh gosh, that game after my own heart. You kidding me? Love those type of games. But more so than not, you're seeing games, like 115, 110, 118, 107. I've seen a couple games that have been below, 100. 98, 94, stuff like that. You don't want a bunch of those. But again, you want to feel like you have to earn a trip to the line. You got to earn a bucket, and teams are actually allowed to play defense, and I just think it's been much better, and it's benefited the Warriors. All you got to do is look at the numbers, look at the times they put the opposition on the free throw line. They're just not doing it as much, and we always talked about that. Those were the two things that killed them, were putting teams on the free throw line. Now, the Rockets did get there 30 times last night, but before that it was like 15 times a game over the course of like 3 games, or even less than that. But turnovers and free throws, because they usually get destroyed at the free throw line, and then they lose the turnover battle. And you look at the overall numbers, shooting percentages are usually fairly even. They don't crush teams from the three-point line anymore like they used to. So, sometimes they'll win that, sometimes they'll lose that. But they're getting outscored by like 15 at the free throw line. And then points off turnovers, they lose that one by another, 5 points. All of a sudden you're looking at 20 points you got to make up because of those two stats. Well, those haven't happened recently. They're not getting crushed at the free throw line, and they're not turning the ball over, aside from last night, not turning the ball over a ridiculous amount. So I think those two things, more than anything, have led to the record they've had over the last few weeks. And you watch them and you're like, this is a different team than it was. I think Clay's back in the starting lineup now. I don't know if it'll stay that way. They've had some injuries and they've had to kind of shuffle things around with Kuminga being out, but he seems to be as comfortable as he's been all year long. Draymond back in the lineup, and then Trace, that is huge for them. And then, Wiggins wasn't great last night offensively, but defensively he's still getting after people. It just seems like it's taken them a long time, but they finally found their groove a little bit. Like, they finally, okay, this is who we are. This is how we have to win. We're not going to outscore. We're not the same team we used to be. We can't just go out there and outscore teams and just be dominant that way. We got to be a little more gritty, a little more grimy, muck it up a little bit, and then, we'll let our skill take over at times, but we got to hang our hat on defense, because this team, when they were good in the past, it was always defense. Always. They were always good defensively. People forget in 2015 they were number 1 in the league in defense, number 1 in the league in offense, and people kept thinking, it's a jump shooting team. You're not going to win, are they? It's a jump shooting. And look at the stats. These guys are number 1 in defensive efficiency. And since that point, when they've been good, they've also been good defensively. And I think I think the numbers would bear it out, over the last month or so, they've just been much better defensively. Again, not fouling, that's factored into defensive efficiency. So they're just not fouling, they're playing better defense and not turning the ball over. And again, if they do that, could they beat Denver in a 7-game series? Probably not. No. I mean, it's probably Denver's the one team I'm like, okay, they just seem to be a little bit better than everybody else. I know they lost last night to the Clippers, but they didn't have Jamal Murray. But other than that, I couldn't tell you for sure that they would lose against OKC, Minnesota, Clippers, New Orleans, anybody.
I'm with you.
I could see them beating somebody in a 7-game series. I mean, they got to get there first, which is an obvious problem, but I just think they're playing really good, and I think Steve feels really good about the ball club right now. Get to the play-in, see where you land, and then just roll the dice and go from there.
Tolbert and Copes with you. I'm live from the bunker here at Oracle Park after the Giants walk-off on the Padres at the home opener, 3-2. Tyro Estrada walk-off double after a nice 7-inning performance from Jordan Hicks. Giants take on the Padres again tomorrow. We'll have it for you right here on the Sports Leader. So Luka Doncic out tonight for the Mavericks. Yep. How good are the chances for the Warriors when Luka's out? Just if you were going to say 1 to 10, Tom, much better, right, without Luka?
Oh yeah. Well, I would have said like 1 being not much of a chance, 10 being you probably should win this game. I would say with Luka in, I'd probably give him about 6.
Okay. Without him.
Now without him, coin flip, whatever that is, 7. I don't know, but obviously they have a much better chance. Kyrie's going to be running the offense.
Well, what if I told you that Kuminga was out again?
Yeah, I knew he was out. But still, they've been playing well without him.
Well, what if I told you the Wiggins was also out?
That would lower it a little bit.
That's what's going on. Jonathan Kuminga out again tonight. Andrew Wiggins also going to miss tonight's game.
He's out. Yeah, that hurts because that's both your wings. That's both your athletic guys. Now,
with an ankle. Yeah.
I would say this, that there's really no person on the Mavericks that's a natural defensive assignment for Wiggins or Kuminga. Like, Luka would have been that guy. And if Luka were playing and both those guys were out, then I would say you got a real problem. Because now Draymond's got to guard him. Clay's got to guard. I mean, it would have been really, really tough at that point. So with Luka out, and those two guys out, that's fine. Because there's really nobody else you're really worried about. You're not worried about P.J. Washington. Lively's out, too, for the Mavericks, and that's huge for them because that gives them a 1-2 center punch with Gafford. And Lively has been really, really good for them this year. He kind of does a lot of the things Trace Jackson-Davis does. Runs the court, catches the lobs, pick and rolls, defends the rim, and he's been really good. So when they lose him, they lose a lot, but they do have Gafford, and he'll probably play, 20, 25 minutes. But, so now the focal point becomes Kyrie Irving. You want to make sure you get up on three-point shooters. You don't want Kyrie Irving to go off. You don't want Tim Hardaway Jr. to go off. Kleba, he hasn't been playing great, but he's a guy that's capable of hitting threes, and that's the way they'll beat you tonight. They'll beat you with, Kyrie going for 40 and then hitting 15, 16 threes. But if those two guys are going to miss a game, yes, it's always beneficial when Luka misses a game because that guy is just an offensive machine. But now that Luka's out, it doesn't make me feel it's going to hurt him, obviously, but it doesn't make me feel as bad because there's really no one else that can exploit the Warriors because Wiggins and Kuminga aren't playing. Now, I hope they get back. Hope they get back soon because they'll certainly need that size when they play the Lakers in a few days because that's the Lakers' size gives them problems. And if those guys are still aching when the Lakers come around, then that's going to be a tough one.
Tolbert and Copes with you. Giants beat the Padres 3-2. If you thought because we started the game or the show at 4:45 that we weren't going to give away tickets to see Chelsea Handler at the Mountain Winery on August 24th in Saratoga, you'd be wrong because we're doing it right now. Tune in all week long like you have. How about this? We're giving away tickets. Caller 10 to the studio. No cue to call. Caller 10 to the studio right now. 415-896. KNBR is going to win a pair of tickets to go see Chelsea Handler at the Mountain Winery on August 24th up in Saratoga. No time for the cue to call. So caller 10 right now. 415-896. KNBR is going to win those tickets. A little bit more on the Giants. We've also got more on the Warriors. Again, Jonathan Kuminga out tonight. Also, Andrew Wiggins out tonight, as well as Luka for the Mavs. Real superstar affair tonight down in Dallas. Still get some Steph, though, and you'll get some Draymond. So Giants get a victory, a walk-off. More on that. And how about the first pitch today? Fred Warner and Deebo Samuel. Not good. We got it for you next on the Sports Leader. Opening day 3-2 in a walk-off single from Tyro Estrada to send Matt Chapman home. Tell us how you're feeling after the win on our socials at KNBR. What's going on, everybody? Adam Copeland here for O'Donnell Financial Group. Look, retirement planning and investment management, it's all about knowing the overtime rules because there are no do-overs in life, especially when it comes to retirement. If you're looking for a local fiduciary who's licensed when it comes to loans, investments, insurance, basically all things you need when it comes to money and retirement, Greg O'Donnell is the guy. Call him. He's my good friend, Greg O'Donnell, at the O'Donnell Financial Group. For the past 3 decades, he's been helping people like you get peace of mind by planning for retirement. So call Greg today, 866-496-2300. or online at o'donnellfinancialgroup.com. Again, that's 866-496-2300 or online at o'donnellfinancialgroup.com. You owe it to yourself to know if you've been planning correctly or saving the right way or investing in the right way so that you get to live that lifestyle in retirement that you've been planning for, working for, and that you've always dreamed of. Call him today, Greg O'Donnell at 866 496-2300 or online at odfigroup.com. O'Donnell Financial, because planning is a process, not a product.
Yeah, I mean, I was moving. I just wanted to watch it hit the ground, I guess, as I was touching second, and then just trying to get it going. Trying to run as fast as I can, score that run so we can win a ball game.
Do yourself a favor. Download the KNBR app on your smartphone. You'll be glad you did. This is KNBR 104.5 FM and 680 AM.
That was Matt Chapman, who scored the game-winning run today for the Giants. Thairo Estrada, who had been 0 for his previous 17, comes up in the bottom of the ninth inning, hits a walk-off double that scores Matt Chapman, who, Tom, not the fastest guy in the world, had reached base via a hit by pitch prior to Thairo's at bat. Thairo walks it off with a double. And, by the way, I've always loved any guy who says they're just trying to do something to help win a ball game. I don't know why. That phrase has always been the coolest phrase. Look, man, hey, why'd you do what you did? Look, man, I'm just trying to win a ball game, man. It's the best thing somebody can say. Tolbert and Copes with you. I'm still live from the bunker here at Oracle Park, following the Giants 3-2 walk-off win, and a good crowd here. A lot of people were happy. A lot of people excited about the team. Dude, the way it filled up around the ballpark, Tom, beforehand, like we had the broadcast at 58 Social, previously the Public House with Murph and Marcus this morning and Papa and Lund on the field. By like 11:30, it felt like it was 20 minutes before game time, like with the amount of people that were out and about, which is We said this yesterday. They were 3-5 last year, or 3-4 last year through 7 games, 2-5 this season. The feel about the team is much different.
Yeah, that's like a festive atmosphere.
It was fun.
There.
Yeah,
that's good. That's very cool. And I got to say, maybe the second coolest thing that happened out of the park today, first being the Estrada double to win the game, no doubt, but Wisnowski punting it into the bay.
Dude, how sick was that? Dude, I was standing by the arcade when it happened, and I was like, wait, what's going on? What? Yeah, dude, I was like, what the hell is happening? That football's in the water.
Yeah, it was much better than the first pitch by Warner and Debo.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we'll get to that in just a sec, because they went ceremonial first pitch. Risky move, having a couple guys who catch footballs and don't touch balls for a living. I mean, Fred Warner, if he's holding the football, something's gone wrong.
Yeah. Oh, they must play baseball. They must have just been in town. Maybe that was it. We got anybody in town that wants to go throughout the. Oh, and risky move by them too. It backfired on them. They just thought we're going to the mound. We're gonna throw from the mound.
Have you done a first pitch?
I never have. I don't know if I could do it anymore. Like I would have loved to have done it when I was younger, because my shoulder wasn't a complete wreck, and I was like, because it's so funny. I mean, I used to pitch when I was younger, and 60 feet 6 inches didn't seem that far. It may seem farther now, but I was like, it's not that big a deal if you if you used to play baseball. It's just like it's not a huge deal. But man, you get these people out there that like because Eric Burns told me this story one time. He was talking about Barry Zito, and he goes, Barry Zito is like he's just the weirdest athlete. Like, he's a baseball player. He's a pitcher.
Dude, like playing guitar, dude. Yeah.
You watch him surf. You can surf. So he's a good athlete. He goes, but he throws a baseball. Obviously, he's one of the best in the game at the time. You get him to throw a football. He goes, you wouldn't even know he was left-handed if he threw a football. He goes, it looks like he's right-handed throwing it left-handed. Like, that's what he looks like. It's like some guys can just do certain things. Some guys can't do certain things. And for those like me, who I grew up playing every sport. Like, if baseball season, baseball, basketball, football, football. Like, throwing a football, throwing a baseball, no big deal. Anyway, I would have liked to have. I still think I can get it there, but it might be dicey, because I mean, my shoulder just won't let me extend and throw the ball. I still wouldn't mind doing it. It might be fun just to go lob one. But really, what I wanted to do when I was younger was just get up there and let it rip.
Yeah, dude, just let that ball like Kaepernick. Remember he threw like 82.
Yeah, just let it rip.
What? I was like, they're just cold.
I almost threw up my arm down at I guess, well, it's not Petco. It was Qualcomm at the time. The old
Qualcomm,
Murph, Jack Murph. So my buddy used to work there, and you've met him, Todd Link. He used to work at one of those stands that had a pitching machine. And you'd go up there and pay like $5, and they'd let you throw 3 balls. And if you could top a certain amount, if you could throw your first ball and then guess how fast your third ball was going to be. So they give you 3 balls. And you just see guys wreck their arms because they go up there and try to air it out without even warming up, which is because I'm an idiot, what I did. I was like, okay, I'm going to just gotta air this thing out. And my arm was dying for like the whole game pretty much after that. I was like, I'm so stupid. But it's so hard to have a ball and a radar gun. And you're just like, oh, let's see what I have. Yeah. And without a warm-up pitch, I got it to, what did I get to? 86, 87, I think it was, 85? So I don't know what it was. The last one I think was 86, and I ran. I think 84, 85 was the fastest I could get, but I go, I'm running on this one. It's like totally, I took like about 10 steps and just like let it. I mean, I just went at full Eric Burns without the tumble afterwards. I threw it as hard as I could. I think I got to 86 or something, but I regretted it. I was like, it felt good like at the time to see 86 pop. I was like, oh, that's pretty. I go, that's pretty nice. Then I was like, God dang, my arm's killing me. Just killing me.
I'd be kind of mad if you were on my team and you were 6'9" and only threw 86. I think
yeah, I know. I felt like Chris Young.
Like Maddox is like, yeah, dude, he's just soft tossing. It's kind of how Sean Jelly is. I'm like, really, man? You're like 8 feet tall. You can't. Could you dunk at least from the mound? Could you do something like that? How about
that? But I figured, didn't you figure when they went to the mound, they could like? I figured if they're going to the mound, they know it. Like they know what they're doing.
I'll tell you what. How about this? Who did you? I for sure thought Debo would be worse. I was like, Debo's not going to be able. This isn't going to be good.
Yeah, I agree. Well,
we have audio. Here's Dave Fleming on the call of the ceremonial first pitch. It's today before the Giants win 3-2. Noted superstar 49ers Debo Samuel and Fred Warner. Here's the call.
We'll see. These don't always go quite as planned. And, not quite as planned. Fred Warner, he's a really great linebacker.
Not a great pitcher, at least not without a little more practice, but big smiles all the way around.
What's the worst one ever? Fauci was hilarious. Fauci was one of my favorites.
50
remember he yanked it to the side to like the first baseline. Fauci.
There have been some really bad
50
ones.
Cent is bad. Yeah.
50 Cent was terrible.
50 Cent's one of the all-time worst.
I think, didn't somebody hit like a cameraman in the crotch?
Dude, yeah, that's nice. Right in the beans.
I forgot who that was, but yeah, there have been some brutal. Our boy, Rod Brooks had a doozy one too. I wonder if we have the call on that one. I think John Miller may have been.
Raph's back there at the studio.
Not a great pitcher.
But yeah, Rod had one that I'm sure he is would like a do-over on. But look.
Hey, by the way, Tom, real quick. Shout out the guy I walked by today at the ballpark on the right behind like 121. He was like, Rod Brooks. And I was like, no. I was like, nah, brother. Nah, man. I'm not going to look.
I'm not going to look.
No, man. I'm not even going to pretend you said it. Yeah, I'm just going to keep going.
I think people don't fully appreciate like going out. So you're going out there on the mound. And I felt it a little bit when I went out there and took BP like 20-some years ago against Kruk. But I'd been in front of big crowds. Not that big, but big crowds. I don't think you fully appreciate like being out there in front of like 40,000 people and not doing something you're comfortable doing. Like when you're Fred Warner and you're Deebo Samuel, you're great football players. Like that's no big deal. You don't even like pay that much attention to the crowd because you know what you're doing. And these guys are two of the best in the business at it. But I felt that when I was golfing in Tahoe, and I got to the first tee and people were watching. I'm like, oh God, don't kill anybody. Like I'd never felt that nervous in a basketball game in my entire life. Like I was
first game in the NBA. You weren't that nervous?
No, not even close. Because
really?
I was comfortable. That's what I did.
You belonged.
That's what I always did, and I felt confident in my abilities. So no, I never really even thought that much about the crowd when I was playing. But when you're doing something you're not comfortable with, then you start thinking about it. You're like, God, I hope I don't screw this up. So when you're doing something, I mean, as great as Fred Warner and Deebo are, and they are, that's it. Football. This is baseball. This is in front of 40 grand. All you have to do is get it to home plate. It seems so tap it. Tap it. Okay, so yeah, we've seen some. And the thing was, they both pulled it wide left, like both of them. Who caught him? I forgot who caught him.
I can't remember who was down there.
Was it Burl?
Nobody caught him.
No, that's a good point. Nobody. Who was supposed to catch him?
Yeah,
I think it was Burl. Yep, I think it was Burl. And
I don't know who the other one was.
God, I can't remember who it was.
There's no box score for this.
I'll think about in a minute. But yeah, they kind of looked at it like, oops, not gonna get there. But that's okay because Wisnowski punted it in the pond, and I was like, oh, that was pretty cool. I like that. That was almost as cool as Matt Cain hitting balls into the cove.
Yeah, for
golf balls. Now that I would love to do.
That was pretty cool. That's pretty fun. Yeah. Well, they did the Top Golf type thing there at the stadium.
Did you do that?
I did that a couple of years ago.
How was it?
Built from the station. We came out, dude. It was a blast. What they did, we hit from the club level. They like build these platforms out from the club level, like over the seats.
Matt Williams. I'm sorry, Matt Williams was the other guy. Matt and Pat.
Yeah, but dude, you're like hitting balls out toward it. It's pretty sick, dude. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, I would. Cool. That'd be fun to do. That'd be pretty cool. But can you imagine? Just take a driver, get like a small bucket of balls at home plate, and just start whacking them. That'd be so cool. Well, what if you busted the Diamond Vision or whatever the hell it's called? I don't even know what it's called. I think Diamond Vision's.
I think it's called a Titantron.
Titantron. Oh, if you busted that? Oof.
Titantron. WWE. It's already comes with you. I'm live from the bunker.
That's coming out of your paycheck. What? I'll be paying for it till I die. You kidding me?
It's already comes with you live here from Oracle Park. I'm here at the bunker at Oracle Park. Giants beat the Padres 3-2. How about this? When we come on back, we do have tips and picks for you. But I kid you not, Tom. A guy I met earlier today at the ballpark. He's with his kid Mateo. Shout out Craig. Big listeners of the show. He was sitting in the stands at one point, and I walked by him a second time. And he's like, dude, I love when you guys, you and Tom have, he's like, who's that woman you guys get on? I was like, what?
That woman.
He's like, who's that woman you get on for the picks? And I said, oh, dude, talking about Harmony? I said, I wouldn't call her a woman per se. She's a sophisticated sex robot sent here usually every week throughout the football season to help you bang the book, but she's also got her hardwood picks. Part of our tips and picks today for the Final Four. Harmony returns to your airwaves next on the Sports Leader. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Adam Copeland here for Underdog Fantasy. That's right, we got more college hoops games this weekend, and that's why Underdog Fantasy is your place to make a little cash this weekend. We got the Final Four going on. You still got the championship coming up later next week, but that's where you download Underdog Fantasy. You start playing their pick'em game. It's a legal game in California. Ton of fun to play along. You can make some money, though, on this game. Here's what you do. They give you a series of player stats. You pick between 2 and 5 players to build a pick'em entry. You select higher or lower on the given stats. And if your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money in a single night. Endless projections to choose from. You create your own experience. But you got to go to their easy-to-use mobile app or to underdogfantasy.com and sign up with the promo code KNBR, like you're listening to right now. And they'll give you, they'll match your first deposit up to $100. Plus, they'll give you a mystery pick to use with your first pick 'em entry. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code KNBR to get your first deposit matched of $10 or more up to $100 plus that special pick. Must be 18 or older and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Time to make those weekend wagers. Who you want to bet your Benjamins on? We got you covered with tips and picks. Sponsored by Twin Pine Casino and Hotel. Now here's Tolbert and Copes on KNBR.
Tolbert and Coast back with you. I'm live from the bunker here at Oracle Park following the Giants' 3-2 victory over the Padres. We will get to Harmony in just a minute after I tell you the tips and picks is sponsored by Twin Pine Casino and Hotel. Celebrate Twin Pine Casino and Hotel's 30th anniversary all year long in Lake County, California, where every visit is a winning experience. For those who are unaware, Harmony is a sex robot. We rent her out every week of the football season, but for other special events too, like college basketball's national championship and the Final Four. She's a sophisticated sex robot sent here each and every week to help you bang the book. I tell you her record. We don't know it, except she always finishes on top. It's great to have you back 2 weeks in a row. I'm not at the station. I can only imagine she was toweling off. And it is Derek's birthday, so I heard she cut him a deal today, Tom. So, Harmony, it's good to see you. How are you?
Hello, fellas. I can't believe we have a sponsor for this segment. What is this called? Tips and picks. Got it. I'm sure the Twins Pine people are so thrilled we had to combine these segments. Anywho, what an exciting day over at the ballpark today. Hey Big Boss Man Copes, is that a baseball in your pocket or are you just really excited for opening day? I'd ask you to go get a drink later, but I'm pretty sure you're already sexually satisfied from just hearing a live crack of a bat. I did really enjoy the Giants pre-game ceremony today. All 4 hours of it. And nothing's more traditional on opening day than a football punted in McCovey Cove. All right, let's play just the tip. Sorry, tips and picks. Apologies, this will be the last time I'm on this. Which is something I've never said.
She's got like a Mark Spears-like cadence to her. I keep thinking she's done, and she just keeps going, dude. It's just it's hysterical.
Phone's much clearer, though.
Well, yeah, she's sharp. Well, she's in studio, you know. All right, we got 2 games this weekend. The Final Four, NC State against Purdue. Purdue laying 8.5. Tom, who do you like in this one?
Oh, boy. I'm going to be ultra square on these picks. I'm going to go favorites. I'm going to go Purdue. I think, look, DJ Burns is really good, and he's fun to watch. I say he's like a dancing bear. He's like a big dude, not super athletic, but, man, he knows how to play basketball. He's got great feet. He's got great touch. He just knows how to play, but he's going to be shooting over a mountain of a man in Zach Edey, and I'm not sure exactly how they're going to stop him. You double Edey. They got a bunch of three-point shooters all around. I'm going to say NC State's Cinderella ride comes to an end in the Final Four, and they lose by double digits.
NC State may soon be saying, I'm sick and tired of losing to Purdue. Purdue laying 8.5 against NC State.
Like he's playing.
Yeah, anyway. Right. Harmony, who do you like?
I can't wait to watch these 2 big boys in DJ Burns and Zach Edey. Just proving that size does matter. Sorry, DP. While Copes gets excited from baseball, Zach Edey gets really excited from playing basketball. Well, that'll make it harder to guard him. While Edey's size is impressive, I'm feeling Burns more. Which is funny because DP feels Burns too when he pees after a night with me. I guess you can call me a chubby chaser, and Burns is definitely thicker than a Snicker. Give me the Wolfpack in the upset.
Okay, Wolfpack in the upset. Harmony. Sorry to hear that, DP. Sorry to hear about that, dude. All right, we're going to go to the second game of the weekend. Another big favorite in this one. It's, I mean, the odds-on favorite to win the whole thing, UConn, to try to repeat here. UConn laying 11.5 points to Bama. You said yesterday, Bama's the kind of team that you thought could upset them. Who do you like on the spread?
UConn. I do think Bama could hit 15 threes. I just don't think they're going to. I think they have shocked me this postseason because not only did they hit a bunch of threes, which coming into the postseason they hadn't shot the ball all that well, and they played defense, and they certainly have not played defense this year. So, I mean, they're just running into an absolute juggernaut, a complete team, beat you inside, beat you outside, beat you offensively, beat you defensively. So I see this one getting away from Bama. I don't see the three-point shooting being there for them. I think UConn's going to get 85, 90 points in this game, and I'm just not sure. I don't feel great about it because it's a lot of points, and look, they could – Harmony will love this. Back door is always open with Bama because they can hit a bunch of threes at the end and go from like down 17 to lose by 9. But I've tried against UConn a few times this year. I think I got them once, but I'm not going to try them again. I'm going UConn.
All right, Tom's going UConn laying the 11.5. Harmony, who do you like? UConn laying 11.5 against Alabama. What's your pick?
Look, I'll make this quick and easy. Like when Tim has had 6 lagers in one night and will pay a ridiculous amount of money for me to sleep with him. There's no way I'm picking against UConn. Alabama is a good team, but UConn whips everyone's ass like me on my S&M nights. This game will be easier for UConn than playing LeBron in chess.
I play a lot of chess. Not in real life. I've actually, a lot of people have told me you should play chess because you'll be great. I've never played chess, but in my mind, in theory, I feel like I play chess on the floor.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, just stop talking. Lay me and the Huskies.
That is one of the greatest sound bites of all time.
Yeah, we gotta
I play a lot of chess, not in real life.
But he's like, what? He ends up by going, in theory.
I do a lot of quantum physics myself. I mean, not in real life, of course, but
In
like
theory,
mentally. Yeah, I kind of do it. I do it a lot in my head.
People tell me I should play quantum physics.
Yeah, I should try to get a degree from MIT in quantum physics. I do it so much in my head.
In theory, I play chess is such a funny thing to say. So stupid. All right, so Harmony said, lay me in the points. It's always a good one. She takes UConn, and she said she likes DJ Burns thicker than a Snicker. Chubby Chaser. She's going after NC State. That's going to do it. I don't know when we'll talk to Harmony next, but she's got her picks for the national championship lined up there. UConn against NC State, at least on the spread line of things. Harmony, it was great to see you. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good weekend, boys. Not sure what I'm going to do this weekend. I asked DP if he needed me for sex. He said no thanks. John Fisher already f***ed me and all the Ace fans pretty good yesterday. I'll probably head over to Oral Park and watch the Giants play. Maybe they'll audition me to be the new PA announcer. How does this sound? Now batting, Matt Assless Chaps Man. See, I give them little nicknames.
Matt Assless Chaps Man.
Oral Park.
Harmony, she's a sophisticated sex robot sent here most weeks when we can afford it to help you bang the book. If you didn't like it, it just probably wasn't for you. It just probably wasn't the thing that you're into. Now, Derek, though, it burns when he goes. Happy birthday to Derek, by the way, dude.
Happy birthday, Derek. And eat bleep.
Yeah, eat bleep. Sprechen Sie, Derek. There you go. All right, we come on back. Who we got tonight? Bill Lasky taking over for us. I think tonight is Friday night, some Friday Night Giants. Bill Lasky's going to join us when we come on back. We'll see what he's got going on tonight. And then Dubs OT tonight with John Dickinson immediately following the Warriors game. By the way, you can catch that live if you're hanging out in the city or you're going out near Harmonic Brewing. Over at Harmonic, right outside of Chase Center, John Dickinson will be live for Dubs OT on hand at the brewery over there. So go over, have a brew, say what's up, watch the Dubs game, check out a little Bill Lasky, and we'll talk to him next, only here on the Sports Leader. So many voices join Murph, Marcus, Papa, and Lund today before the opening day festivities, including Ron Wotus, Tim Flannery, and Jake Peavy. Listen to all those podcasts. They're up right now, KNBR.com and the KNBR app.
Hey, everybody. Mr. T here for Xfinity. Everyone's house, a little different, but I'm sure one thing we all have in common. A spot where the Wi-Fi just isn't, doesn't have the same juice as it has throughout the house, and that's a problem. Everyone wants fast, reliable Wi-Fi in all parts of the house. All you have to do is get wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity, and it's only on the Xfinity 10G network. Get wall-to-wall Wi-Fi from Xfinity for a reliable connection throughout your home. Now, through June 21st, new customers can get started with gig speed internet for $25 a month for 2 years with no annual contract and free Wi-Fi equipment included when you add unlimited mobile. Go to Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit an Xfinity store today. You love sports, you love high def, you love fast, reliable Wi-Fi throughout your entire home, you will love Xfinity. All right, we're about ready to wrap it up. It was a quick one today after the Giants prevail. Bottom of the ninth, walk-off from Tyro Estrada, scoring Matt Chapman to take you up until 9 o'clock. Bill Lasky will do just that. Bill, what's going on?
How are you, gentlemen, on a nice win by the San Francisco Giants today? Exciting game.
Yeah, it really was. And we were talking about Jordan Hicks and just, was it 12 innings, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, I think is what it is. Total, I could be wrong on that one. That's rough math. But he's looked like really. I know it's only 2 starts, so I don't want to get over my skis in 2 starts. Give him like 5 starts. Give the team 40 games before you kind of start figuring stuff out a little bit. But early returns have been very, very good.
Oh, so solid. And he did use different pitches today than he did the first time out.
Yeah.
Of course, I look at this really intensely as a pitcher. And the first time he threw an array of pitchers at sinkers, sweepers, splitters, fastball. Today, it was mostly sinkers, and it really worked out for him. He got 10 ground ball outs. He threw 59 sinkers when you look at his whole line today on 91 pitches. So he was really heavy on getting the ball down, and a lot of the hitters were hitting ground balls, and that's what you want. The other game, I think he really just wanted to mix everything up. Today, he got in a couple holes, got behind some hitters, but in the end, man, he threw 7 beautiful innings.
Bill,
I'm going to ask.
Good.
I'm sorry, Copes. I just wanted to ask Bill this: as a pitcher, why is it harder for pitchers to throw to second base than it is throwing it where they want to home plate?
I think a lot of that, Tom, is throwing to a target that's moving. And that's the hardest thing. Plus the slope on the mound. I really didn't see if he was going down on the slope or up on the slope. I really didn't look at that. But the throw was to Ahmed's right hand, which is not his glove hand. Ahmed was really down to try to catch the ball, knock it down. And it was just a dart away from him, and it really, really was a bad throw. Sometimes you rush the throw. Sometimes you're trying to wait for the shortstop to cover the bag. Mm-hmm. But you've done that 100 times at PFPs in spring training. That's what PFP is all about. Sometimes when you get into the game, you turn around and everybody's moving, and as they say, you duck farted into center field.
Yeah, well, duck fart. A ground ball with eyes, right? No, what was worse, the ceremonial first pitch is by Debo and Frederick, or Graham Pauly striking out and getting hit in the face? That's got to be the worst strikeout I've ever seen.
What was Fred Warner doing, man? Jeez. You talk about a duck fart. That was a major duck fart. But, you know, those things happen. And I think, Tom, you said it earlier when you guys were talking, you get into a different element and you think it's so much easier. And I recall this, Tom Tolbert. I threw you batting practice at a home run derby at one time.
You did. Yep.
And I was laying them into you, and you're like, what should I do? And I said, just see the ball. I'm throwing balloons up there. You did hit a couple of them on the warning track, if I'm not mistaken.
I did. I hit one out, but I didn't count because it was a day before. I think the Giants BP coach was throwing them to me, and I hit one out, and they hit another one out, but it was foul. But when you were throwing them and Kruko was throwing them, I couldn't quite get one out. Got a couple warning track shots, but I'll tell you what, I took 25 swings against Kruko. And I thought, 25 swings, not that big a deal. It was like 100 degrees that day. It was one of the hottest days I've ever seen here in San Francisco. I was dying by 25 swings. I was like, can we call it at 20? I'm like beat. I can't swing like that anymore. But it's different when because look, you played in front of big crowds. I played in front of big crowds. But when you get a big crowd, and then it's something you haven't done before, or you don't feel comfortable doing, like I played baseball through high school until I was a junior, so I feel pretty comfortable hitting or throwing the ball, stuff like that. But if it's something you don't do, then the crowd becomes like, hey, everyone's looking at me. I better make sure I get this right. And then all of a sudden, well, we saw what happened. Two balls to the backstop.
Yeah, he embarrassed himself, and then he ran around the mound to try to hide. You can't hide Fred Warner for sure.
You can't hide him.
Debo Samuels threw a good one. Debo threw the ball well. He threw it in there. That's all you want to do.
You know what? That's okay. Go hit somebody next year. That's all everybody cares about.
He's not going to miss that.
Just go lay somebody out. You're good to go.
Bill, what's the most embarrassed you've ever made a hitter look?
Well, when you're throwing the sliders and they kind of fade away from it, and you throw another one, you throw it right at them, and it fades away, and they fade away, and they kind of look at you funny, and you're just like, well, you're ducking away from it, and I'm just going to spin them a little more, because those are the best ones when you're kind of like the swerve or the sweeper now. That's what a lot of guys. I mean, I look at Tyler Rogers. He could probably do that every time the way he throws.
Yeah.
What about when you were hitting? Did you ever?
I've been embarrassed too many times, Tom, in hitting. You go up there thinking, "Oh, look at me," and hey, my batting average is 129, so I was off the 100 mark, so it's not over like bingo, but 129 is what I finished with. I laid the bunt down very well.
Okay, what was the best contact you had as a hitter, and who was it against?
It's a great story. It was in Cincinnati, and of course I'm from Ohio. I had probably 30 to 50 people there, and Tom Seaver was thrown, and he hit me a fastball, cool, and I hit it to left center field, and I thought it went out, and Eddie Milner, who was one of my best friends, goes over the fence and catches it, and pulls it in, and it's a third out, and I'm rounding first base, and his smile, if you remember Eddie Milner, he could gleam from ear to ear, and he's showing me the ball, laughing as hard as he could. And that was the best shot I had off Tom Seaver, of all people.
Did you ever hit one out?
No, never did. I hit a couple fouls. couple foul out, but that was about it.
No, those are strikes, Bill. Those are strikes.
I know, but it didn't matter when I hit him. When I hit him, you looked at him and you're like, "Is it? Oh, it's foul."
How great would that have been to have that home run ball against Tom Seaver?
I talk about it all the time. God, my only one home run was off Tom Seaver, Hall of Famer. Come on, we'll put him in a book, but it didn't matter.
Did you tell Seaver, don't disrespect me by throwing that fastball there?
Don't bring that junk in here, dude. What are you doing?
No, the only other good ones we had was against Fernando, and Fernando and I would throw under each other's chin. He didn't like me, I didn't like him, and we just used to bark at each other, and he used to always throw one under chin on me, and then I threw one behind him, and he looked at me with his bat, and I'm like, I think I got him mad.
What was the reason you didn't like Fernando and he didn't like you?
Oh, man.
Well, we had a lot of battles, you know that. I mean,
I know
that.
Dodgers-Giants. So that's what it was, Dodgers-Giants.
It was all Dodger-Giants rivalry, and he used to come out of the tunnel and speak Spanish to me and just talk derogatory. Don McMahon, who was my pitching coach, knew Spanish, and he'd just go, get him out of here, get him out of here. And I'd look at him, and I'd go, Don, what'd he say? And he goes, you don't want to know. You don't want to know.
Fran was talking mess in another language. That's great.
It was great. And he'd just get fired up, But those are fun rivalries, especially Candlestick when they had to come out of the tunnel and then go across the field. Things like that were all good back in Candlestick days.
Who was the most uncomfortable at bat then?
With me was Dale Murphy. I mean, I could tell him what's coming. He'd know what's coming. I would sometimes drop down on the side, and he'd still hit it. He was just an uncomfortable at bat for me and for a lot of pitchers. He was just a very good stick. He made contact, went to right center well, won MVPs, and to this day, he should be in the Hall of Fame with the numbers he put up in his career.
I was just going to ask you that. I can't believe that guy's not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's a spectacular person off the field, just a super nice guy, and did a lot of things for the community. But on the field, he was a nemesis. He had great years, and look how big he was, and he played center field and run like a deer and throw like a cannon. But I don't know what it is with the Hall of Fame and him and his numbers. His numbers are up there in every category.
Who'd you have the most success against? Like a guy that maybe had great numbers against everybody else, but you had his number.
Well, a lot of the Dodgers, I talk to Steve Sachs all the time. He's one of my best friends, and he went like 2 for 27 off of me. And the one time we were up in Sacramento, and I had Johnny Dasco hint to him, hey, how'd you do against Bill? And Sachs looked at me, and I looked right at him, and he goes, I can't recall. And I go, well, I can. I put that nail right in him. But, most of the Dodgers, the Pirates I did very well against, and there was other teams. But Dale Murphy was definitely the one that I used to go to bed with. How am I going to get him out tomorrow? Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know if you would feel the same way, but I always tell people, they're just certain, if you play well against a certain team and you play well against a certain team for, an extended period of time, they would ask you, what is it about this thing you play well against? And I'd be like, oh, I don't know. You have a couple good games against them just because maybe you got hot that day or you just, for whatever reason, had a good game against them. And then when you play them, you just feel comfortable. And there's something about feeling comfortable as an athlete. You don't worry about negative stuff.
Success
All you're
breeds
thinking
confidence.
about is positive. Yeah. And I'm wondering if you felt that way against certain teams or certain batters, for no reason other than, you know what, I had success against them early on. And so when I face him, I just feel like I'm going to get him out, and that gives me an edge.
Tom, you and I are professional athletes. You always go through spurts like that. There's teams that you just mow over. There's teams that you can just hit the spot every time, and they hit ground balls or fly balls. Same thing with you. Probably people that guarded you. You can take them to the rim or shoot over them. Some of the things in professional sports, you play them enough, and the record continues to keep going your way, or the record goes against you. There's certain hitters you just can't get out. It's just the way it is. Professional baseball is so much fun, and being a pitcher, you see these guys so many times throughout your career, and then all of a sudden they're your teammate, and you're just shaking your head like, I'm glad you're my teammate now, instead of being against me. It's just a fun way to play. You go out and get paid to pitch. You go out and play basketball to play basketball, and when it's all over, we look at it and we see what new wave of baseball is, and same thing with basketball, and you try to figure out what's good and what's bad. And I think that's what we did today, watching the Giants play, because there was some good And there was some bad. And, sure, you just got to overcome the bad. And Bob Melvin said it the best. I don't want to dwell on the negative. We won the game. I want to stay positive, but we got to clean up a couple things, and he's 100% right.
Well, it's like I told Copes, I'm glad they won, so I don't got to talk about Hicks throwing it into center field and Conforto trying to – that was like bottom of the fourth. I'm like, oh, my God.
He got bailed out once, and then he goes again. It's like, what are you doing? Come on, playing with fire now.
What are we doing here? You had no chance to get home. Before I let you go, though, I got to ask you this, because Copes and I talked about this, and I'm sure you enjoy seeing it. It seems like early in the season, first week or so, more teams are allowing their starting pitchers to go a little deeper in the games and get stretched out a little quicker than they normally would. We saw a kid, Rennell from Houston pitch a no-hitter, and that wouldn't have happened last year, or it would have been a combined no-hitter, but not one guy pitching a no-hitter. And it seems like teams are a little bit more willing early in the season to let their guy go a little deeper in the game.
Yeah, I think it's all pitch count. I really do. You look at Jordan Hicks today. He went 91 pitches. Webb's thrown 90 in 2 starts. There's no doubt Bob Melvin and Brian Price are letting these guys push themselves. When Hicks was in his post-game report, he said, when I came in after the 6th inning, Bob wanted to take me out, and he said, I have one more. And Bob Melvin let me throw that inning, and that shows me confidence in my manager, and that shows confidence in your starting staff, because this staff, the starters, are going to rule once this thing straightens out. Going deep in the games, it's really not deep when you're going 70, 80, 90 pitches right now. That's where they should be. Going 100, 110, like the no-hitter, that's pushing it. But right now, I think these guys are solid by going that 70, 80, 90 mark, and we've seen it out of the top 3, as well as Keaton Wynn. Keaton Wynn threw really well, and he threw 89 pitches. So deep in the game, I think you're seeing the innings add up. But really, when you're looking at pitch count and where they are in their arms and their strength, it's about normal if they push themselves right now at this time of the year.
Good point. What do you get going on tonight?
I caught Mark Gardner up this week, and we talked a lot about pitching, bullpen, setting up things, and we talked about the 4 horsemen that are going to go on the Wall of Fame, and he told a couple stories about each one, and that's always appealing when I hear stories of a bullpen coach watching these guys warm up and some of the positives they did, some of the things that they had to get over, and of course we're talking about Lopez, Affeldt, Casilla, and Romo. Those 4 we're going to talk about with Mark Gardner later in the show.
Awesome. We'll look forward to it. Have a great show, Bill, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, fellas. I appreciate your time today.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. So much fun. I mean, I'm like anybody else. Like, I love stories, especially from someone like Bill who played in that era. I've always said stories of that era and my era, and maybe a little bit after my era, but not much. Those stories are the best. Like, you just don't get those type of stories today. You don't. There's too much social media. All that stuff isn't going to fly, isn't going to happen, and it's just it's more. How do I put it? More clean fun, I guess. It just not as much goofy, crazy stuff happens today as it did back then. So it's fun, and I could have gone on with Bill for an hour just asking about old ballparks, old pens, old mounds, all that kind of stuff is super cool. So stay tuned. Bill's going to take you right up until 9 o'clock. Let's thank our guest, Harmony. Harmony was especially good today. He was very good.
By the way, dude, I didn't realize it until Mike O'Connell, our digital guy, texted me. He goes, because I'm still here at Oracle Park. He said, dude, you know how you play the game and stuff. He said, you guys are booming through the speakers at Oracle Park right now. And then he said, oh, my God, dude, it's Harmony. Hey, man, I didn't turn it on. I just got the picks.
Dude, the Harmony fans got, the Oracle fans got some Harmony today?
That's all the time. She had an Oracle Park shout-out at the end, too, there. That's hysterical.
Nice. Yeah, she called it Oral Park.
Her words, man, not mine. Yeah.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. We try to introduce Harmony to as many people as we can.
It's outrageous, dude. It's outrageous.
Thank you very much, Derek. Great week. Great day today. And Roth, thanks for filling in for Tim. Well done. We're going to get on out of here and hand it over to Bill Lasky. He's going to take you right up until 9 o'clock. Copes, have a great weekend. I'm sure you're going to be at the yard a couple times this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to get back out here for sure, Saturday or Sunday, or both. We'll see.
Or both. It wouldn't surprise me if it was or both. Have a great weekend, man.
You too, bro. See you later.
All right, everybody, stay tuned. Bill Lasky is going to take you right up until 9 o'clock. Have a great weekend, everybody. Take it away, Dirk.